All right. Good afternoon, amazing people of Calabar. Good afternoon, Malabites and Malabresses. And good afternoon to you listening to the sound of voice within the tenacity of women in our society. Women who are pace-setters, women who are unabashed to embrace their femininity. Welcome to yet another fascinating episode of She Can. She can empower, she can accelerate, and she can march forward. Powered by Unico Radio 103.5 FM. Today, we have a female but divine Hencher, the spice of the airwaves.
Good afternoon, Michelle.
Good afternoon, Vine. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm very well, thank you. I mean, it's been a journey from Monday to today. I mean, we've been celebrating women from Monday,
Exactly.
Tuesday, and today. So I'm excited. I'm really, really thrilled to be part of this celebration. In as much as I'm not a woman, but I'm here to just support women.
I love the fact that you're supporting women. Don't worry, we're going to find something. We're going to find something.
Can't wait.
Yeah, today's going to be another exciting day to learn from, the resilience, to learn, to be inspired by these women. So,
Absolutely.
my dear listeners, just keep it locked with us because you know what? This duo will be back. And of course, our guests will unfold our guests when we come back from this very short break. So, do not touch that dial. Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned. It is still the She Can series. She can empower, accelerate, and march forward. Still on Unico Radio International. And yes, you still have me, show the radio buddy, and Vine Hencher, the spice of the airwaves. I know you're itching to meet our guest. Okay. Now let us let the cat out of the bag.
I think this deserves a drum roll.
Okay, yeah, drum rolls. All right, today we celebrate a woman whose career embodies excellence in leadership, scholarship, and service. Professor Eno Nta, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration of the University of Calabar. Her contributions to academia, administration, and literature have left a lasting impact on the educational landscape in Nigeria and beyond. As Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor Eno Nta plays a pivotal role in the university's governance, overseeing administrative function and ensuring the smooth implementation of institutional policies. Her contributions extend to various university committees, demonstrating our unwavering commitment to academic excellence and institutional development. So join me as we welcome our one and only DVC academics. Good afternoon, Doctor. Or Prof, sorry. Adu. Okay, good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
It's so nice to have you in the studio with us today. How are you feeling?
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. I'm okay.
How does it feel to be a woman?
To be a woman.
Yes.
They always say to be a man is not a day's job. So how does it feel being a woman?
To be a woman is not a year's.
I like.
I love the sound of that.
Yes. Okay, guys. Thank you so much, Ma, and thank you too for joining us on today's episode of She Can. So yes, we want to move forward and want to learn more about your leadership. Your leadership at Unical has actually spanned various roles, including Director of the Center for General Studies, and now you're the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration. So as a seasoned administrator, what has been the most fulfilling aspect of your leadership journey? Let's start with that one first.
Well, actually, I think sometimes leadership is not something that you just sit and plan for, so to speak.
Okay.
You grow. As you grow, leadership also takes different forms.
I agree.
I think for me, within the university, the first time was as a coordinator of general studies.
Okay.
These are the English, remedial English in those days.
Okay.
And that meant, I think then all I saw was grilling work.
Okay.
Because it's not now that things are moving so smoothly. You want to type question papers, then you needed to be there at the machine and you'd be using raw energy, you'd be pushing and getting the papers and running to town to find. So, yes. But then gradually I moved on to headship of the department.
Okay.
And that, I think, was something I loved.
Okay.
Why? Because suddenly I could command some of my professors, but really it was a little thing that I did.
Okay.
And by the time I was there for a while, I said, oh, we've created Wahala. Before, nobody wanted to be head of department because nobody knew that some financial whatever was coming in.
Okay.
The heads of department would never tell you that there was money for this or that. It was always
a secret, top secret.
No money, nothing. But suddenly, the person in charge of postgraduate program knew as the money was being paid, I would say, please come and sign. Collect it. Say, what for? I said, no, it's for you to run your end of the program,
Yes.
And then the department, suddenly we could talk of, oh, we are sending off someone who has retired.
Okay.
I don't know if you knew Prof, then Dr. Ogu. And then even our non-teaching staff. So welfare was very important to me. I believe that when people are happy, well, we cannot be happy 24/7.
Absolutely.
But at least be comfortable. Let you know that we care.
Exactly.
And if you let them know you care, they are willing to go the extra mile.
Yes.
So it was easy for staff to say, yeah, we have this date, we must meet it, and they won't complain much.
Yes.
And then, so yes, we work more on welfare, on comfort in terms of office space, and in terms of materials. The library, I think then that was when we created a departmental library.
Okay, awesome.
That time. And it was like, what's she up to now? You know, what's the new thing? And of course, many, many more people were involved. We had lots of conferences. My tenure, every year we had a departmental conference, ICALEL.
Yes.
Okay.
We had, and we also had a conference for Orishawayi because he was about retiring. So we had a special session for him. And we still had so many other things. We had workshops, you know, all within that period. I said, how did you manage it? Where did the money come from? I said, from the money that was in the department. And when I was leaving, I had the joy of saying I could vouch that there's so much money in the account.
Yes.
And that time we went to Ghana for a conference.
Okay.
You know, and I took Kalel, our departmental, and sold in dollars.
Whoa.
And I came home with dollars and handed over dollars to my successor.
Wow.
And he said, well, I said, yeah, it is the departmental money. It wasn't mine.
Yours, yes.
You know. So yes, that for me was about the most tasking, but the most fulfilling. By the time I moved on and became director of CTLE, it was more of liaising with departments, faculties, trying to convince them to allow us be part of their workshops and all of that. And they were a bit hesitant until when we had that first research fair. And I now showcased the center. And suddenly it was like, oh, you mean we could get all of this? By the time we were done, I was inundated with, please, please, please. And so when we're talking 40 years of Unical, I had a long list of things that I could talk about. I could, you know.
Yes.
But yes, but how did that affect the women, right? It is that I believe that everyone has something they can give.
Absolutely.
But it needn't be at the same time, in the same way, and not necessarily in a way I would appreciate. You know. However, you need to be able to accommodate. And I tell people, I say it's like in a family. You have so many children, they are so unalike.
Yes.
But if you are asked, which one will you do away with? You say, how dare you touch any of mine? So no. So you want to work with all of them. And so I allow them, if you are strong in this area, you're allowed to pursue it. For my students in that period was that I was committed to, in fact, I was surprised one day when one of them said, just before you came on board, we did not graduate the year that you would not go for youth corps as you finished. But during my time, every set went for youth corps.
Amazing.
And that meant that because I had convinced my take on ready, our results must be approved, and everything just went, it was almost. And this person came up and said, "You made it possible." My colleagues were still waiting 2 years after to go for youth corps, but we did the minute we dropped our pens.
Yes.
And so I felt that was good. And also was that I was also tended to work sometimes with those students that some may call special needs. You know, the one that maybe whatever, you know, I would always take time out to find out what is it, what do you need. So when it comes to exam, I never believed in, yeah, we could have an exam. But for the person that needs more time, because it's obvious this person has a hearing disability, you know, and all that.
Yes.
I could always create your own time for you. And I would, in fact, I was in Uniport on sabbatical. And I had 2 students, blind students in my class. And everybody would just be talking and talking and talking. And I was teaching them discourse analysis and structure. And I said, okay, exam is on. And in discourse, you have to read some passages. So I went, sat, recorded the passages for them.
You did it yourself?
Yes.
Wow.
Paced it, you know. and then the questions would come.
Okay.
And then I also added, you have the right to replay.
Okay.
So that you understand.
Understand, yes.
And the students were like, they never knew this could happen.
Mm.
And my colleagues were, hey, you don't come start building for this one now. Now every student will be,
Yeah.
requesting that they must be given this or given that.
Mm.
And I said, because they need it.
Sure.
And those two students, one day I was surprised when I was back in Unica. They just showed up. I said they were coming to thank me. That because I gave them confidence.
Yes.
And from that period, nothing was stopping them.
Mm.
Because usually they will ask you, bring someone in to read. The person will look at a word. Maybe the word is supposed to be 3 syllables or whatever, and will just jumble down. You say, excuse me, I don't understand.
Yes.
And the invigilator would say, see, you are making noise. Get out of here. But so, yes, those were the kind of things that I used to love doing. And I think basically it's just letting people be, encouraging them to be more than they think they could be.
Absolutely.
And I used to tell them, one thing for a student to survive, you need to be able to swim against the current. Otherwise, you'll be swept along.
Yes, that's very true.
Where you will end up may not be what you want.
That's very true.
Before what Professor Nta here is saying is actually true, because I am one person who has counted myself fortunate. First, I have been taught by her because she was my lecturer at the Department of English and Literary Studies.
Please don't make me feel left out.
Please now, just allow me. And today I have the privilege, to sit with her one-on-one, and we are having this inspiring conversation. So Professor Eno Nta is actually a lecturer, yes, from the Department of English and Literary Studies, before she assumes the role of the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration.
Amazing. Okay, moving forward, it's so good that you recorded a lot of success stories during all the positions that you have held in your career. Right about now, let's ask you this, right? True empowerment starts from within. What mindset shifts do you believe are essential for women striving to break barriers?
Well, mindset that you need to have is maybe to be intentional in the kind of things you do, and to understand that you may not necessarily get it right.
Okay.
So that's why there's a learning curve going on. I think for me is that in a sense I was fortunate that along the way I've always had that have impacted. She was childless, so to speak.
Okay.
And we were a number of children with her. And I learned that you could love, even when it is not from you.
Okay.
You could be selfless, because I remember sometimes I would be ill and she would do every single thing possible, and it wasn't just me, that kind of a thing. And even when I got into secondary school, she would come visiting days was her business, but she wasn't being paid for that.
Okay.
Because I was already gone, I was already out of her care.
Okay.
And I think that made me feel that I owe younger people. Then as I moved on, by the time I was in the university, sports was good. Sports, you meet some very strong persons in that area, and you look at them and you say, I can't run as fast as this person, but wow, she's great. And in my undergraduate days, our sports coach was actually a female, one Mrs. Hussaini. That was in University of Ibadan.
Okay.
And just the way she would go around I would say, hey, Ma has already done 3 laps. See me, I've just done 1 lap. So I keep pushing myself.
Yes.
Then later I was navigating so many things. Navigating work and marriage, and knowing what kind of rights you want to claim, you know, what are the things that I can do and not do. And I think for some of us is that as you're moving on, in a sense, you remain, would I say, naive?
Okay.
Or maybe you expect too much or too little. I don't know. But I know I also had another person around who would say something like, no, now, don't you know that you need to be able to speak up? And then I joined WIN, Women in Nigeria. And that was like the watershed on everything. And suddenly I could say, no, this one I can do. This one I won't allow. However, bottom line was that my partner, my husband, is someone that I loved from day one. So, and that again, I think made or has made a difference. Because he was willing to, I won't say willing to let me, because that would give the impression of needing permission. No, I didn't need his permission. But he was willing to accept me as I am, with all me. I could work with him. And together, I mean, I met him in my first year at the University of Ibadan.
Nice.
And, you know, and we are still together, you know, so
that's lovely.
That's 40 years now.
Whoa.
That's from we've been married since 1980.
Really lovely.
So it's and we've grown. I've grown this much. I actually didn't think it would happen. So I just say to people, it's like the icing on the cake. Because I thought, okay, when you get to be a professor, you are done. You've tried. You've really made it, you know. And then this one just came. It was like a surprise, you know. Sometimes I wonder what my vice chancellor actually saw or sees in me. But I'm so thankful to her. I'm so grateful to God. And what else can I say? And generally, I've worked with a good team. With a good team. Presently, if I look at, I mean, even in those days, ELS, we still say it's a family. You know, I didn't grow up in Cross River or the East. I came to the East because of my husband, you know. And so I don't have many childhood friends. I later discovered some from secondary school, so, you know, but all of them were my seniors. And then maybe one or two who were my juniors in secondary school. But we don't even live in close proximity. So when my friends now are talking about their schoolmates, I'll just be looking at them and say, okay.
You feel left out?
Yeah, not really. Because fortunately for me, I went to a secondary school that is also a big thing. My school is about 160 years old now.
Wow.
You know, and so we can talk of all the big, like someone like a Cabraid, for example, was in my secondary school. Of course, she was there way ahead of me and stuff like that. But so I made a new set of friends. They were all made from ELS department. So when people are talking, I say, my friend, even though one migrated, still answer, migrated to linguistics, but she's about the closest to me. You know, we have some things in common. We both grew up in the West and all that. So I go back to her. I think of Ako. I think of Professor Stella Ekpe, who is like my big sister, not much bigger. Okereke, my friend, you know, all of that. We just forged our own thing. Tonya Umore. And then now I have the younger generation. The Juliet, all of those ones are now like our younger sisters or daughters or whatever. So yes, ELS helped me to have a place in the Cross River community, let me put it like that. Because since I didn't grow up here, culturally, I really wasn't into so many things. But because of my department, I could now start to relate and we related so well that I practically know everybody's home. You know,
Okay.
one thing is happening, we all carry our body and go and make noise. Even with the guys who don't mind me. So I've been to Okuliyas, I've been to Eyans, I've been to almost all of them, you know. It's just that now with age and with the beautiful roads we have in, you know, it's not so easy for you to.
Amazing,
But-
amazing.
But in those days, yes, it was a beautiful thing. You could
Amazing.
move around and get to know family. Became CTLE, there wasn't so much interaction with staff because it was a very small unit, and we were more like things just come and, you know, you just process and the thing moves on. You really didn't have time for. But even at that,
Okay.
somehow with me, welfare always comes up. And the little, how many years did I stay there? A little over 2 years. The personalities there could say, if you are in need, my door was always open.
Okay.
You know, and then with DVC admin, that one there's nothing to say because yeah, everything and everything. I've worked with a beautiful team. The vice chancellor is always pushing. In fact, she's so strong and so innovative that you just can't afford not to follow suit. And then initially, Angela Uyuita, DVC Acad. And then we now had our baby DVC research linkages and collaboration. But now, as Angela and DVC Acad left, now my son is there. Young. And so it's just like, so he will say, Mommy, I said, see me, all of that now, I'm the mama of the group. You know? So, but it is good. It is good. What have we been able to do? As DVC admin, actually, I found that, yes, you are in charge of administration, but not really in that sense of being, because remember, we still have a registrar.
Yes.
Registrar is really the one who holds all the policies and all the laws and all the statutes, and so who is the one who, you know, but I have the oversight function over certain places. For example, the medical center, dean of students, so it means things that, you know, all the various complaints that come from there, and even in terms of staff, the unions, you know, they will work with their complaints, and so my office is more of trying to solve one problem or the other, but liaising, it's not like a bridge. Liaising, getting across to the vice chancellor, and then trying to sometimes sue for peace, but also trying to solve problems so that, like committees on discipline, for example, we don't allow things to just lie once it comes. Because when you delay, people suffer.
Very true.
For example, you are on half salary. You know, you've been placed on you've been queried, and so for the period that you need to go and apply and appear before the committee, you don't get a full pay. So if we allow it to linger,
you're going to suffer.
You're going to suffer. So it's best, let's get it done. If this guy is not guilty, you quickly make amends. If he is, let him know his penalties so that he doesn't suffer, nor does the system suffer. You know, and so with that, we have really cleared. If I came in, there was a backlog of stuff that were just waiting, and so we cleared all of those. Now, as cases come, we just treat and they go on.
Amazing.
And then for the students, I've had to work more with students usually when they are ill. When there's small crisis, not necessarily something big. Some students have been rushed to, this student is ill, has been rushed to the teaching hospital, then I have to report and check what's happening and all that. Then I will now be the one informing maybe the medical center.
Okay.
And then from there, and I had to keep talking about it, making students aware of the T-ship, for example.
Okay.
The students' insurance program. It is their right.
Absolutely.
And they'll be telling me, I went, and then they did not go to any hospital. They are busy all the pharmacies, going to chemists, and listening to whatever it is that. And I say, no. Even for my staff, I had to tell them, I don't understand. You are telling me you went to buy what? Did you go there? So I sometimes take them physically myself. I say, okay, come in. Let me drive you there. Let's meet with the director. He says, are you registered? No. And that's the problem with students that we have. Those things are there for them,
Yes.
And what else do I love to?
Well, Ma, we've actually learned on how you've effectively carried out your role, not just as a leader, but as a mother too, and also as an administrator, and it's really commendable. So we'll also like to, words of encouragement to young women listening to you out there. How would you inspire them for those who aspire to lead, to innovate, and also to create a meaningful impact in the society?
Well, first is they need to ask themselves the things that interest them. Something you are passionate about.
Okay.
That you love doing. That you will not give up on.
Okay.
I'm saying this sincerely, thinking in terms of my journey in the academia, actually.
Okay.
There were a number of things that I thought I wanted to do. But I will start, and then I will just meet a brick wall. And I will say, what's happening now? Okay, let me take a step back. But sometimes some don't believe they need to take a step back. Some can't handle it. See, for you to get up there, you need to also be able to handle failures.
Absolutely.
Because it just can't go on smoothly.
Yes.
Sometimes there must be some disappointment here and there. How do I take it? Will I take it that the whole world is against me? No. It simply means take a deep breath. Look at it again.
Yes.
Can I go a second time? Give yourself the opportunity, because after all, the God that we worship every day is giving us every new day is an opportunity to do it all over again.
Absolutely.
And so you too learn to give yourself an opportunity. Learn to forgive yourself, but learn to do that brings you joy and satisfaction. For the girl child, I don't believe that we need to talk about, we need to confine in terms of areas of interest.
Okay.
Fine.
That's all.
Okay. When we were younger, they used to tell us you would either be a teacher or a nurse. Those were the two professions for women,
Very true.
But today, anything you want to do, they will tell us, you will hear, the sky is your limit. Now we hear the sky is your stepping stone. And I used to tell my students then that we are your stepping stone.
Okay.
Because, so what am I expecting? I'm expecting you to move way ahead of me. So when I talk about, sometimes when people ask, when you retire, wouldn't you like to just stay on and stay on? And I say, and stay on as what? That I can tell you that there are at least, at the very worst, 4 persons in that department that can conveniently do whatever it was that I was meant to be doing there.
Okay.
So if I stay on, will I be allowing them
No.
to get that kind of experience that they need? I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, it is beautiful. We have this contract kind of thing for retired academia,
Okay.
my colleagues, as you retire, for some. but it shouldn't be taken as a pension strategy.
Okay.
That is, okay, I'm just there because then I'll be sure I'll be paid. Remember, the minute your name is down there, if we are doing accreditation, for example, that slot has been filled. So why would I put in another person? You know.
Yes.
So we need to balance it. It's good to have us the oldies, if
Yeah.
you like, you know, the old heads and whatever. But we also need this fresh influence or influx that must come. So we need to be able to balance it well.
Okay.
You know. So for my young ladies, my young women, many distractions in your present world. It's not easy.
At all.
True.
It's not going to be easier because for us, we had possibly some vestige of the extended family was still there to assist. I don't know how much of that you can count on. And so you are living more insular. You know, the walls are getting higher.
Yes.
And I'm looking at my grandchildren, for example.
Yeah.
And I said to my daughter, when she was little, I said, see, your children don't have friends. You grew up in a block of flats. Every flat, 6 flats in the block, 1, 2, 3, 1 flat had children. All became friends or a large family. So you say, today is my birthday. We didn't used to give out cards. So just wake up that day. As you are going to school, just say, it's my birthday. In fact, by the time they are coming back from school, you have the children, they're already there.
Yes.
These ones, they don't even know who lives in the next house.
True.
You know, because they are like this. And I keep saying, so you need, therefore, to actually plan for activities for them.
Okay.
So you will plan, okay, we must go to music, whatever, we must go for something sport. That one. Have you finished eating? I'm downstairs. Football time is there.
Yes.
You didn't need to go to any field to particularly, you know. But so, and that is your world. And it's going to only get worse. So you will need to plan even more, even for the education. Because education is not insular. This one, you just go to school, you come back, you now plan lesson teachers, you now plan. That one, what you are learning on the go is a lot.
A whole lot.
You know, just tracking from the staff quarters to staff school, the children are already learning.
Yes.
Now, who can you allow your child to trek? Insecurity, kidnappers. So there are so many things that are, but I know too that you people are resilient. You know how to navigate it.
Absolutely.
With wisdom from you.
Yes, you know, because I know that there's always a way.
There's always a way.
There's always a way. I have been particularly excited by the kind of things I've seen some of my former students coming up with. You know, I have one of them who wrote a play, and the play was a whole book, Utonwa, you know, by Diana Bassi, who does it. I don't know if you've seen the play. It's a wonderful thing, you know. And I see some of them now in digital, you know, writing online and all kinds of things. And of course, you are in practically every profession that you can think of. The beauty of the arts is that humanities generally is that no matter how science-based the thing is, they will still need somebody to write those meanings. And so there's always somewhere that we can fit into. But I've also seen that the children these days, the girls, the boys, the men, the women, the you know, that they are not like us, almost straight-jacketed. We were. I'm in English. I'm just here. They are talking skills.
Yes.
They know how to multitask.
Exactly.
And they know how to be versatile. You know. So you find someone who is in the sciences, who is actually into marketing or promo, or you know, and of course, it's like you guys, well, maybe not your generation, but the children you will bring, I think when they are popping out, they will be popping out with is it a handset or a
I couldn't agree less.
you know, because when I say I don't understand this thing, those ones will look at me and say, okay, please just take it for don't hold it. I say, I know your password. I say, you do? Please leave it to, don't touch it. Me, I will have to memorize it. How did you know it? Say, I just watched it when you did. So this your own. They won't even need to watch.
Absolutely.
It's in their DNA. So yes. And of course you remember that someone like Benema Dunagu with her Girls Power Initiative really did a lot. And so many of those girls are women now, and they are holding on. And the center is still very strong. And so the impact is continuous. Like they said, we have handed over, we are handing on. So there must be handing on. And as you are passing the baton is not getting lighter.
True.
However, it is getting more experiences. And those experiences are making them stronger.
Yes.
And so with such NGOs around and awareness, although there is an area in the university that I think I'm also interested in, which is the Center for Gender Studies.
Okay.
Actually, we've come up with a gender policy, and I have given it to the ICT director that it should be on the website for students to be given link, so that they just download from there. I'm not into money-making business.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have said, let me produce and be selling. But sell to who and for what end, But the beauty of it is that it was actually launched by the SUG president, okay? And that was during the 16 days of activism. Yeah, late last year, sometime in December. And so at that launching, now everybody's supposed to be aware of it. I'd gone through the whole process. Unical Radio was part of it because we gave information and all that. So I'm interested in seeing it really being explored. And so that when we are talking about it's not just stakeholders now, we are talking about how do we handle issues of sexual harassment, for example. I want to see that we begin to make a difference. Because it's there. Sometimes it will kind of bubble and then it will seem to wane, but it is there.
It's still there.
And people are suffering.
Whether
male, whether female. I've listened to some testimonies that are so horrific, and all that. So we need to handle that as a university. And that means that it's not just the business of the center, but the center has to get it to where they should be, in the faculties, institutes, departments, so that in whichever form it rears its head, whether it is in terms of gratification, in terms of paying for grades, in whatever form, because gender also goes into corruption, also goes into, so all of those, in whichever form, it affects males, it affects females. So yes, that is something I want to see us cleaning, our own environment, so that our children will graduate confident and be able to speak up. So yes, so for the female, they must be empowered to march forward against any form of injustice, any form of corruption, any form of dispossession of your rights. And even for us, in terms of our language, against any form of denigration of our language and culture,
Okay.
because all of this seem to go together if
Yeah.
we look at it deeper and deeper.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, Ma, for coming to the studio and talking to us about your journey and how you've been able to balance career and family. You said something about your bond with your husband and how he encourages you, to do what you want to do. That's something that most women do not have that luxury. But I'm glad that you had such luxury. Thank you so much for coming to the studio. So as we wrap this powerful conversation on She Can, Empower, Accelerate, and March Forward, one thing is clear: women are not just participants in progress. They are leaders, trailblazers, and architects of the future. So before we go, Michelle, what's your last words?
Well, Professor Eno Nta here has encouraged young ones, especially. She has seen that our time is not going to be easy, so we need to buckle up so that we'll keep pushing. At least, I think what actually inspired me the most is that she already knew that we have the strength, the resilience to fight, and so definitely we will fight. And to you, our dear listeners, to you girls, yes, the women listening to us, listening to this particular program. First of all, I want to say a big thank you, our deepest gratitude to you, Professor Eno Nta, for sharing your insights, your experiences, and most importantly, your wisdom. Your journey is an inspiration and your impact is undeniable. And so we are saying thank you. And also a big thank you to Unico Radio International, the team, for making this special edition a success. Remember, this conversation does not end here. Keep staying connected, keep learning, and also continue marching forward toward a future where every woman and girl can thrive. This is Unico Radio International, and this has been She Can, Empower, Accelerate, and March Forward. Breaking barriers, keep accelerating actions, and keep marching forward. And Vine, ensure the spice. Until we come your way again, keep it locked with Unico Radio.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Oops, that's been